Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine, I was thinking the other day
About time.
Thank you. About reselling in general. And I know we've touched on this before, but what are the barriers to entry to reselling?
Barriers to entry to reselling. So
I mean, let's assume you own a phone, because everybody owns a phone at this point.
Yeah.
Let's assume you have a credit card or a bank account. Let's assume that you have some things set up.
You need a vehicle that can hold a certain amount of stuff if you're going to buy in quantity. Sure.
Well, not even that, because there are people that buy pallets and have the stuff shipped to them.
Okay.
And you can
then you need
contact the post office to pick it up.
You need room too, though. Whether
You need
it's
some
your house,
room, right?
garage, storage facility.
Yep. And or there are people out there that source directly off of eBay, or they source off the live auction sites.
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually sit in your living room, run your business, and never leave your house.
It's nice
because you can get all the supplies in. You can get
to be a single man once again.
But so what really are the barriers to entry?
I mean, one thing that comes to my mind is, so let's say you have all that, you've invested $10,000 in everything you need. You go on eBay, you get your username, you can only list 5 items.
That would be problematic.
Yeah, that would be an issue, yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go to Amazon. Screw eBay.
Or, I'll keep those 5 items up.
But Amazon, boom, boom, boom. Oh, well, this is gated. I can't list on this. This is gated. This is Marvel. I can't use this keyword. So, there are a lot of barriers on these sites.
Then you go to Etsy, and Etsy holds your money for a period of time.
Yeah.
Or I'm sure Macari, and
sure.
Rightly so. You understand why they do that. They don't want me to go on and list 100 iPads that I don't have.
Yeah.
Get $10,000 and never ship anything out and run away. Obviously, they're holding the bag on that.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta guess Whatnot is the place to go then.
They'll hold your money as well.
Okay.
Until delivery, until it's received.
After your first show, or
you have to have 1,000 sales before you get your money released immediately.
Wow, 1,000 sales, meaning if you do 25 in an hour, that's 25. You have to do that 40 episodes or whatever. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's time consuming.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I mean, not that you don't get your money.
Yeah.
I ship it out to you, and then once you receive it, I can take my money out.
Right. Okay.
But after 1,000, you get your payments instantly.
But it seems like that's the easiest place to have less headaches. As long as you're okay and you got $5-10 grand backing you or something in case.
So you don't. Well, so you don't starve to death while you're waiting.
Or another deal comes along. Geez, I was hoping for that money from this one sale. What am I going to do? It's $500. I got to pay for groceries. But so I mean, Whatnot seems to be the best choice if you're a newbie. Right.
Assuming they accept you to sell, but I've heard a lot of people say that they're a lot easier about accepting people to sell.
Okay, cool.
I think the barrier to entry I was thinking of, which really isn't, but it will set you back for a while, is knowledge base. I think that obviously when you start out, you make a lot of errors, and you buy a lot of stuff you shouldn't buy when you get down to it. And I'll use the example in the old days, but here's the funny thing about it. It actually isn't bad anymore. It'll actually sell. But the torch is passed. How many times did we see the torches passed at sales?
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, every auction had them.
Yeah.
And we were laughing, going, the torch is passed. Well, now it actually sells.
Yeah. We saw them today, actually. It's funny you just mentioned it.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't think it went for much, but it's still
sold. It's
one of those things we don't pay anything for.
No, it's a
back
throw-in.
in the day, we might have paid $5 for the first one, knowing that it's very common after that, and then we knew not to buy it, or it came in free with a deal or whatever.
Right, yeah, that's funny that you sold one.
Yeah.
But so you make those mistakes when you're first starting out. You don't know that such and such a magazine is supposed to have centerfold in it, and it doesn't. The posters on the Nintendos or the...
Sure.
You don't know that you're supposed to check the wrestling. You don't know you need to check. You don't need to... But I think that's the biggest barrier to entry. Beyond the obviously you need a few dollars in your pocket, and of course you need the phone, internet, blah 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 blah, all that stuff you do need.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest barrier to entry then would be knowledge base.
Sure.
But that can be overcome and that can be learned. What would you say would be the best way to build up your knowledge base? And what advice would you give to somebody?
I mean, for me, you got to take chances, and that's how you learn. You don't want to take a chance on 10,000, which I've done, but not early in my career. But it's paid off for me, but it may not pay off, or you could get scammed or something like that. So I would take small chances. Like the end of roads we used to buy all the time. Yeah. 10 boxes, hundreds and hundreds of books or magazines for $5, $10, $20, and then we probably stopped doing it after a while because we learned you're going to get a lot of junk for to put on eBay or Amazon. But now for you, it's making a comeback for you because now you have an outlet for that, and you're not taking end of roads, but you're taking end of auctions or end of estate sales,
right.
And now you're going to whatnot with them. So it's one of those things where at first it was good. As you grew, I probably don't need them anymore. It's too much bad to go with the good. And now you're like, geez, I can flip this and make a couple $100 now, So, but yeah, I just think experience over time, taking chances, and researching things. Obviously, I know a lot of people use their phones and they do the scanning and this and that. So maybe that's how they learn. I don't know how much time you have at an auction to do something like that, or unless they preview it. But I think taking some risks and chances definitely along the way will help you get some experience. You're going to get some great deals out of it, and you're going to get some bad deals, and then you learn both ways. Hey, this is great. I want to buy more of that, or I'm going to pay more next time. Or you can lose out on some deals and think, geez, that's too much, and then the guy that outbid you or paid more might be a hell of a deal, and the next time around, you're going to outbid him.
I would say my best advice to you, if you are, regardless of where you are on the reselling spectrum, unless the only way I would not say this is what you should do is if you are really truly winding down. If you're winding down, you're saying, I'm selling everything off, and at the end of the year, I'm moving to Maui. Don't do this. But, yeah, exactly. But anybody else, the best advice that I can give you, list as much as you can. Period. The more items you touch and list, the more knowledge you have. And I was thinking about this the other day, especially if you throw whatnot into it. Me as a one-man band, I moved over 150,000 items. That's a lot of items.
Yeah,
that's a lot of items that I have touched, and I've got another 50,000 listed. So that's 200,000 items that I've touched, not counting what's unlisted.
Over 20-something years?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you live to 186, you'll probably be able to get all this stuff on there. That's awesome, yeah. Hey, we all have to have goals.
And make sure you have life or health insurance so that when you hurt your neck craning it, you're not out of work for a long period of time. But list as much as you can when you get down to it. Because, again, I'm getting to the point now where a lot of things I'm seeing is like, oh, I've had that before and I've sold it before.
Yeah.
And they want $1 for it. Yeah, I know that sells because I've sold that before fairly recently.
Yeah.
Let me buy that again for $1. And I'm getting better and better and better as time goes on at, when I do go to a show, picking out the best of the best out of the dealer stock for what he wants. Doesn't mean I don't still take chances and buy big lots and all that, because of course I do.
Sure.
But if I were to go to an estate sale and books are $5 a piece, well, I'm not buying them out of books, generally speaking.
Right.
But I might be able to pick one or two good books off the shelf for $5 that I know are $50 books. And that's because I've listed so much and had so much. And when you are listing, if you're doing the research as well, you may look and you may say, oh, this is not a good issue of insert the thing here, but this other one here with this cover is a really good issue.
Yeah.
And you just learned something or other. Or you go, wait, why did this other issue sell for $322? And then you look into it, hey, wait, this keyword sells all the time.
Yeah.
Every magazine sells good. That's a keyword that I need to know. So that would really be my advice to growing your business. There really is no particular barrier to entry other than all of the sites limiting what you can sell early on, which of course you do understand to some extent. But if you're able to list a lot, do so. And the more you list, the more you'll sell. The more you'll sell, the more you can buy. The more you sell, the more you learn. The better your buys are, the more money you make. And that's a nice, happy circle. And help us be happy. Do hit the like button if you could. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.